Intercontinental Tournament action. We're about to begin here on day 5, joined by James Smith of TotalWaterPolo.com. Greg Meskel here with you for our first game, China and Japan. China coming in with a record of 1-3 after their first win of the tournament last night over Brazil. 11-6 for Japan at 0-4. Dropped a 26-4 decision to Australia yesterday. We're underway now. This is Japan in the dark caps, China in the white. Our officials in this one, Ms. Debajian from the United States, Mr. Wah from Canada. Japan head coach Hideo Kato going with their normal starter in goal, Rikako Miura. And for Team China and head coach Ricardo Azevedo, they go with Yang Jun in the goal.
We're bookended by some rivalries today. This one of a much higher historical level, two Asian powerhouses, and then we end the day with Australia, USA, a great water polo rivalry.
Shot clock violation. And the ball will turn over. Here's Japan now with an opportunity. Just underway. The final day of pool play as we look towards the medal round tomorrow. Our championship final already set. It'll be a replay of tonight's nightcap, USA and Australia, for a gold tomorrow. So that's an exciting match on the way. A doubleheader, if you will, over the course of 2 days with the two top teams here in Texas competing. Shot clock about to expire. That's off the post for Yumi Nakano. And China takes control. Don't forget you can follow along with live stats via the FOSH. All the information available at usawaterpolo.org. Visit the FINA Intercontinental Tournament webpage. There's a goal. China's on the board. Count it for number 5, Nu Guannan. She's been a hot scorer this week here in Louisville.
Hot scorer, just a natural shooter.
Entry pass goes inside. Dealt back out. Japan with this normal strategy they've run all week of really not a true center. Spread it out, open up the space around 2 meters for a drive. Shot clock will expire, so nothing available there on that possession. And the ball will turn over.
That strategy is one that it has entertained us earlier. It's one, though, that we know that basically tires them out. They're so active in the early parts of the game that by the end it becomes very difficult to maintain that kind of pace.
Turnover here. Scheduled for today, Brazil and Canada to follow, and then Team USA and Australia at 7:20 p.m. Central Time. Expecting some pretty good crowds here on the weekend as fans from other parts of Texas able to make the trip here to the Dallas area.
Yeah, and I think that's actually going to take place. There's clearly a big contingency coming up from Houston, some from Austin as well, hopefully some from San Antonio. And for those who don't know the geography, those are not short drives.
Entry inside. And off the mark, looking to get number 4, Chong Dun-han, open, but she couldn't put it away.
I think they consider themselves lucky, the Japanese, that that score didn't go. She's a very talented center, a young one.
Five minutes to play here. First quarter, and an exclusion, tug of the suit. And a kick out on China, number 5, Nu Guannan. 6-on-5 here for Japan, and a chance to try and draw even. Nice field block there, getting a hand on it, Sheng Kong.
Good catch and shoot, but yep, packed in. The Chinese were defensively, and another field block.
Ordinary called. And good team defense.
Again.
Lob attempt is in. Japan's on the board. Kana Hosoya. And we are tied at 1. 4:05 to play in the first. And Japan able to get one back. These two teams, no strangers to each other, compete for that Olympic bid from Asia. And of course, China, the qualifier, leaving Japan to go to the qualification tournament next month. But a nice lob try here to draw level.
Right. Japanese should be quite pleased at this. I know it's early, 1-1 early in the matchup, but boy, they just never stop on that counterattack.
Inside the turn, bad pass on the exit, and it'll be an easy takeaway here for Rikako Miura. Nearly a goal there. Nice save from Yang Jun. That outside try almost had her beat.
I thought so too.
On the long outlet now, China with trouble here. Off the post, that'll count. Score it for number 7, Song Dong-loon.
Yeah, all cued off of that save. That was maybe a little more difficult than she expected.
It's like Song Dong-loon's maybe waving for a sub.
Injury?
Now she finally gets some help there. .308 to play. First quarter action and a 2-1 lead for China after the goal there from Song Dong-loon. James Smith, Greg Meskel here with you from the Louisville West Side Aquatic Center, just north of Dallas. China threatening again, ahead 2-1, looking for some more here. Lob try, that's off the bar. And the rebound controlled by Japan.
Get the impression early in the game.
And a turnover there. Ball comes middle now. Shot clock down to 5. And a steal here by Japan, and now they look to counter with 2 minutes to play. Long outlet pass. Kotori Suzuki. She'll pull up, middle, and goal. We're tied at 2.
All triggered again by... Yeah, that's that awkward defense that that I've spoken to some people about has been very effective. Some of the stronger teams here even have had trouble with it, even though the scores may not reflect that, but very, very effective.
Akari Inaba scoring there and tying it up at 2, and Japan looking good here to start. They have been overmatched in many of these games. Japan's tallies thus far: lost to Canada 19-10. The closest one they had thus far was a loss to Brazil 10-7, and lost to Team USA 19-2, and then last night 26-4. So they've been on the wrong end of a couple of matches.
We were together for that Brazil match, which was so far one of the really exciting matches of the tournament, and here they go again.
And there's a contra foul, so no goal there. And now Japan again on the move, a dangerous pass, and a steal here coming for China, as Zheng Weiwei able to come over and pilfer that ball with 1:15 to play.
Yeah, that outlet let Kakamura down.
Good look inside, and Rikako Miura almost had that stopped, but couldn't. And Sheng Kong hitting for her first, and another lead for China here as they continue to volley back and forth.
Point blank shot from Sheng Kong, and she still had trouble getting past that goalkeeper.
Good little back and forth action here in the first. China and Japan, and a lot of familiarity here. We think of the USA-Canada matches, but these two teams see each other quite often as well.
Only makes sense, and here comes this after goal play.
Good look going towards the goal, and it works, drawing an exclusion. And then a timeout. So an exclusion called against Liu Yiwen.
You can see Coach Ricardo Azevedo gesturing with exasperation because the Japanese run this play over and over again and still find it effective after not only just the length of this tournament, but prior to it as well.
It has to be frustrating as a coach. You're not in the water, but you can see it from that bird's eye view, watching the same thing develop over and over again.
My favorite part of the Japanese team here is the half-court huddle.
It's very much removed from the normal, bring him in, let's talk it up in a huddle. It's kind of a couple of instructions from afar, and that's about it.
Well, I think there's a couple things. One is no whiteboard necessary for much of this, but how many people on the opposition speak Japanese? There's not going to be a lot of interpreting what they're doing.
Sure. On the 6-on-5, out of the timeout, under a minute to play here in the first. Another field block, so a couple of good looks here from Japan have not made their way to the goal. Looks like that time they called inside the 2 anyway, as the sides come even after that turnover, and now a timeout China.
Yeah, disappointing result for that. Not as much ball movement as they probably wanted, and then when they got the decent shot, the rebound was such that they got called for inside the 2-meter line.
Don't forget, when you're talking FINA Water Polo here in Texas, use the hashtag FINA Texas.
I think both you and I have seen quite a bit of that, which is great news for the sport and the
awesome.
state.
Yeah. You're someone that is following water polo on social media as well, so it's great to see people talking and chiming in, and all the local Dallas area media here really interested in this event.
That's really great news for the sport.
Out of the timeout, here comes China now. Their likely last possession of this first quarter. A little reverse, working inside, but a double team and a steal. Nicely done from Akari Inaba. Japan will take control with plenty of time here in the first. 15 seconds to play, but another bad pass. Rikako Miura's had a couple of outlet passes that have just gotten away from her.
High risk and not a great reward for those kinds of mishandlings.
And that brings an end to the first. So one quarter and a close one here between China and Japan. China ahead 3-2. We are back after this to Louisville, Texas. You're watching live on USA Water Polo TV.
You've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
You never know where the next Olympian might be coming from, but it could be water polo, and that starts with Splash Ball. Splash Ball is a program for children ages 5 through 9 designed to introduce them to the sport of water polo while promoting water safety. Improve swimming skills and learn a sport you'll love for a lifetime. For more information, visit splashballusa.org. Second quarter about to begin here in Louisville, Texas, and a 3-2 lead for Team China over Team Japan. And here's China controlling. They handle the opening sprint here for the second. What are you seeing here defensively, James, from Japan?
Boy, this high press, it's just so fascinating. You know, you would think that it was something that you could break pretty easily, but it just hasn't been the case. They play so high.
Forcing the ball under there.
Yeah, every time that the opponent, here the Chinese obviously, think that they have broken it, here comes a double team, a crash of some kind, and very effective so far.
Speaks to the speed of Japan in the water. China thinks they have some room, and then they're surrounded by two blue caps before they know it. And now an exclusion here on China, and that'll go on number 11, Wang Jinyan. And a power play here for Japan in the opening minute of the second. Somehow that went in for Yumi Nakano, falling backwards, a fadeaway, and we're tied at 3.
Not sure if you were thinking the same thing. They've had quite a bit of struggle on 6-on-5. They haven't scored terribly well. And here she was shooting basically off her back with a bit of a press defense, and it goes in against a very talented goalkeeper.
Yeah, certainly some irony there. Japan really seems to be most comfortable scoring on a counter when they're getting some movement going. If they're forced, even in a 6-on-5, to go half-court offense, just doesn't suit them all that well.
That's right.
Second time we've seen Zhao Zihan kind of use this reverse turn to get away from a defender, but this time it doesn't amount to anything.
Well, it tells you something very important. She gets the reverse turn, gets inside water, and gives it up because she knows, or at least suspects, that the defense isn't going to allow her to complete the play.
The ball turns over, and Japan will look to counter. Looking from the outside. A few fakes and a lob and a save. Yang Jun off the post. And they'll push it ahead now to Song Dong Lin. One of the top scorers for this China team. Inside, Sun Yat-ting, this is trouble. The backhand to save, Rukako.
Once again, the Chinese are doing just about everything right, getting the ball to the center, or at least finding somebody who has inside water but cannot complete it.
Clean look to the middle, but knocked down there as soon as it arrived. And the ball dealt back to Yang Jun.
Yeah, she got a bit of a gift to the face on the in the process. Unintentional.
The outlet pass now. China played their best game yesterday, picking up a victory. They had struggled in some of their earlier matches. Again, that turn, this time Japan and Mitsuki Hashiguchi just not letting go after the reverse turn, so an easy call for the exclusion. But a nice save by Rikako, punches that one high with the right, and sides will come even, although Mitsuki Hashiguchi took her time there getting to the exclusion box, and now she's going to slow down Japan.
She really did. I think she suspected that the Chinese were going to take a bit longer on that possession than they did.
That's something I'm sure you deal with as a development coach. It's a frustrating time when you're excluded, as here's Japan now working in close and an ordinary. But I'm sure you're teaching younger kids, get over to that exclusion box in a hurry as a shot is pulled down there from Yang Jun, because you never know when you might be back in.
Not only that, but just telling them the right place to go sometimes is the most important part. But absolutely, it's some of the just technical aspects of the game like that, getting to the side of the pool, or stuff you have to teach.
Another kick out on Japan. This is Kana Hosoya. Japan a little grabby here the last couple of defensive possessions, and referee's right there.
Yeah, I think the state of play is catching up with them. Of course, the moment that a contrafoul takes place, but the grabbiness may be catching up with them a bit.
Well, it's interesting, too. The last couple, not even debatable. I mean, they're doing it right in the view of the official, and there's not much of a case to be made, as a lob try here is over the goal. Let's see if Japan makes an adjustment here. They've been getting excluded a bit. And that pressure works. They force a steal, but then immediately turn it over on a ball under. A good heads-up play there from Wang Jinyan. Sun Yat-ting certainly more physical than anyone Japan has, as a lob is over the top, but you have to credit Japan. They're so quick that China does not feel comfortable really setting her traditionally, it seems.
Well, and she's been effective in gaining position. She's a veteran player. She knows how to do so, but it's exactly as you said. It's not just her defender that she's having to worry about.
A little over 3 minutes to play. First half. From the perimeter, easy stop for Yang Jun. Now in transition, treble here for Japan. Song Dong-loon on the skip. Nice save, Rikako Miura. She's been on point here outside of these passes, but on the saves department, she's done well in the first half. This one gets ahead ordinary. Here comes a shot on the skip. Yang Jun is there, going left. And back and forth we go here. Some end-to-end action to close out the first half.
Is this to the Japanese advantage? That's the question. We've talked about their pace, their fitness, but it's not as though China is not also a very strong team.
Based off what we've seen, I think it's just fine for Japan. I think they can swim for days at this pace. From the outside, bar down and out, and the rebound controlled. Long outlet. Akari Inaba. Goalkeeper comes out. Yang Jun rolling the dice, and it pays off. She'll come up with the steal with a little over 2 minutes to play.
You know, those breakaways in certain sense allow that. If you just noticed, the Japanese are really had any counterattack locked down. They were all in pretty decent position on the counterattack defensively. And here we go again.
And a turnover there. You just see the strength of Sun Yat-ting. She's so strong holding Shino Magariyama that she has a full fist of her suit, and Shino can't even get up out of the water to show she's being grabbed.
Well, I won't tell the referees if you don't.
Outside try, and that's a save from Yang Jun. And we go the other way. You can see her. She's trying to pop up to say, hey, I'm being grabbed. She can't even do that.
Can't even do it. Very veteran, a very savvy center.
Entry inside. Seen this one before. Zhao Zihan controlling on this near side. They'll pass it back out with 1:11 to go in the first half. Skip shot attempt, easy stop for Rikako Miura. And perhaps a little fatigue catching up here. It's been a lot of up and down without really any stoppages.
That's certainly what it looks like. If I were Sun Yat-ting, I think at this point I'd be asking my teammates to just give me the darn ball.
Yeah. Looking from the outside. Shot clock under 10, under a minute to go in the first half, all tied at 3. That shot a difficult angle, and it might have been more of a dump there as we get towards the end of the shot clock. And now a much needed breather as China will call for time with 37 seconds left in the first half, and they'll have nearly a full shot clock here, so about a 10-second differential as we close out the first half.
Surprising result, yeah? 3-3 at the end of the first half. This is not what we were expecting, I don't think.
No, I think you saw two teams throughout the week that have really struggled. Japan has not picked up a win, but it's not as if China has been a world beater here. They have just the one victory, and they have struggled in some of their other games. They looked really good against Australia on opening night, coming within 2 goals, but then after that, struggled against the U.S., were edged by Canada, came back and finally got a win over Brazil. And now Japan, who I think part of it's going to be the familiarity. They know how this team plays. They see this team probably more often than any other team they see in this tournament, and it's proved to their advantage through the first couple of quarters.
That's certainly the way it seems.
So out of the timeout. Some movement here from China. Still plenty of time. Now they go back into Sun Yat-ting, as James suggested, but she doesn't get much on that as she's triple teamed. And now Japan will use their timeout with 16 seconds to play. Shot clock is off.
She had to give so much effort to push Marina Tokumoko around, who she was able to do that. She was able to actually physically move her, but still couldn't get her at the right lane. And at the end of the play, by that time, she had a second defender on her.
Hideo Kato giving out his instructions from afar, as is the MO for Team Japan. Japan will host the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo, so we know Rio is on the way this summer, but once that happens, all the focus will turn to Japan when it comes Summer Olympics, and getting ready to host water polo there, of course. Had a big event just a couple of months ago when the USA men traveled to Japan to take on the Japanese men's national team in a one-game exhibition that they won narrowly by a goal, but that was a huge event. They had a sellout crowd. Ambassadors were on hand. It was a big deal, so they are getting excited about water polo in Japan, looking ahead towards 2020.
They should be. This is a much improved team on the Japanese side that has actually made the Olympic Games this year.
And the men have already qualified for Rio for Japan, first time in many years. Last chance here, easy save, Yang Jun. She goes to the right hand, and that will bring us to halftime. So at the half, a competitive match here between China and Japan, all even at 3. That second quarter saw just 1 goal in the opening minute from Japan, and it leaves us tied here. We're back with the third quarter. You're watching live from Louisville, Texas on USA Water Polo TV.
So, you've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
You never know where the next Olympian might be coming from, but it could be water polo, and that starts with Splash Ball. Splash Ball is a program for children ages 5 through 9 designed to introduce them to the sport of water polo while promoting water safety. improve swimming skills, and learn a sport you'll love for a lifetime. For more information, visit splashballusa.org. State of Texas is where we're at. Texas flag there up on the wall here at the Louisville Westside Aquatic Center. James Smith from TotalWaterPolo.com and Greg Meskel here with you. For China and Japan, all tied at 3 after 2 quarters. James, kind of your thoughts, assessment on that first half?
Well, the first is that Texas flag is far too small. You can actually, by law, what I was told, have it as the same size as the U.S. flag because this used to be its own country. Did you know that?
Can it be bigger than the U.S.
No,
flag?
it cannot do that. Really, again, a very, very interesting game. We did not think that the score was going to look like that. We knew that the Japanese were going to play good defense, as they just did again.
Perfect timing by you.
Perfect timing, but again, neither one of us, I would say, suspected that this is the way it was going to look.
Now it's been a competitive up and down game. The style's kind of conducive to not a lot of stoppage. We only had 5 combined exclusions. I always hate to note that, as I do not want to encourage the officials to call more unless warranted.
That's right, more grabbing.
And what's unique is if you've watched all of our games throughout the week, or if you've been in and out of the facility here, as there's a save by Yang Jun, and you've kind of popped in and saw a game here and there. Such contrasting styles. So the game you'll see now is going to be a 180 from what you'll see tonight at 7:20 between the U.S. and Australia.
Yeah.
It's going to have physical center play, going to be aggressive, probably a little bit of grabbing, if not a lot of bit of grabbing. It's just interesting to see the contrast in styles over the course of a single day.
If you speak to some of the people at the who know, the Americans love playing the Australians. The Australians they're very big, very strong, very fast. But what you hear is that they're not dirty. They play very strong, very physical. But for the United States, it's a great way to head toward the Olympics.
On the 6-on-5, that's off the mark after the exclusion on Shino Magariyama. Goalkeeper way out. If they can see this, it's going to be a goal, but Japan not wise to it just yet. Head down from Chiaki Sakino. She could have had an easy one, but credit Yang Jun for getting back. You're right with the USA-Australia. I think they match up so well, which is what makes their game so competitive, why they often see each other in large tournaments. Bad pass there to steal. So we'll see him here the next 2 days in Texas. 7:20 tonight, 12:40 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. Don't forget an early start tomorrow on the final day. In close and a save. Tried to put that one through Yang Jun, and she wasn't having it.
Again, pressing way past half tank.
China leaving one player back here to thwart that Japan counterattack. Interesting to see that sort of strategy this early in the match.
The Japanese didn't reciprocate. They kept heading back defensively with very little time on the shot clock.
Off the post and in, a beauty from Yumi Nakano, her second, and Japan goes ahead for the first time in this one. They have held China scoreless now for over a quarter. They scored the lone goal in that second period, and now they come in here with the first and the third to go ahead 4-3.
She's been waiting to make that shot. It's a very nice catch and shoot. She's had that opportunity early in the game and finally put that one away.
Let's see how China responds. It's China in the white and Japan in the dark if you're just joining us here. This is the final day of pool play in the FINA Women's Intercontinental Tournament, and we go straight to medal round tomorrow, so 5th place, 3rd place, 1st place on the docket. Top 3 will qualify for the FINA World League Super Final. Ball under is the call here as China forces a turnover. And then an exclusion called in transition, a timeout for China.
A bit of time wasting there. She didn't know it, I don't think, but she tossed the ball after the exclusion, or sorry, after the contra foul. And so she gets to go take a rest.
And it'll go against Yumi Nakano, who just had that big goal. So China already headed to the Super Final. They really have it made in the shade this year. They're hosting the Super Final, so they're going there. Then they qualified for the Olympics, so no worries for that team until they get to Rio as far as earning a berth to the big events.
No worries, and we know that Coach Azevedo he's trying to play some of his younger players in a situation like this away from home, obviously, in a much more pressure-packed situation, and so maybe that's cause for some of the, less scoring than, frankly, we expected, but you're right. When they get back to China, that's a whole different situation.
Yeah, I think you'd be hard-pressed to get him riled up about the results this week. He seems to be pretty comfortable with playing some younger players, putting in some reserves, and kind of just using this as a bit of a test kitchen, if you will, for what they're going to do in the games that will count going forward.
A young team, that's right.
China here on a 6-on-5 looking to draw even, and they do. Very easy in front. Wang Xinyan punches it home.
First power play of the game, and having seen that, you wonder why. It's that they made that look quite easy.
Hanging right around that 2-meter area and able to put it home. Can Japan respond? They've been at their best when they've been on the run, on the counterattack. Or, of course, we saw that one goal that was a fadeaway near the end of a shot clock. But this is where they struggle. And again, a direct shot right at the keeper, and Yang Jun pulls it down.
They ran their after goal play and then posted up their traditional center, Izakaya Takahashi, and sometimes you wonder whether or not they should just abandon that strategy.
China is still working for their center play, but it hasn't been easy. They now get it into Sun Yat-ting, and as I say that, they make it look pretty simple. She's able to overpower the defender for her first goal of the match. And China now has scored 2 straight to go back in front, 5-4.
Again, good timing. She's been looking for that pass, I think, for most of the game, and this time she had the space to actually reach the ball without a defender in her face.
The exclusion on the other end, and a timeout for Japan. For China, Ni Guanan is kicked out. That's her second, and a power play here for Team Japan with 3:29 to go in the third, trailing 5-4.
Yumi Nakano is having actually a very good game. That was such a quick turn to get inside water. I think the defender was really quite surprised by that.
Seems to be always the way in these events, too. You start out on Tuesday, and the scores are a bit crazy. We saw goals galore, not a lot of defense as everyone's getting acclimated. And now you start to get down towards the end, and things become a bit more real as you work towards the final day. 5-4, 3:29 to go in the third. Pretty typical score here of some high-level water polo.
It clearly gets this field to a sort of a more even keel, if you were. And then, of course, we've got two teams, like you said, play each other quite often.
So out of the timeout, Japan on the advantage. Top of the perimeter. Looking inside, nothing there. A long skip. Just difficult opportunities that they try and make work on these 6-on-5s, and that one goes high at the goal.
Well, more specifically than that, Coach Azevedo had his most experienced player, Sun Yat-ting, pressing so that Yumi Nakano was basically not allowed to get the ball. She's had a very strong game so far.
Under 3 to play. A big tussle at 2 meters between Sun Yat-ting and Shino Magariyama. They've been battling all day. Big backhand. Another for Sun Yat-ting, so she's started to get it working here over their second in this quarter. And did that with the right while fending off Shino Magariyama with the left.
The Japanese thought that they were going on the counterattack on that one. That was a very quick way to end that play in the front court.
Bar down and in. And a 6-4 lead, 3 straight now for China as they have reasserted themselves in this third quarter. Japan moving in, working that near post. Tough angle, gonna have to go elsewhere here. And they'll pull it back out as Sun Yat-ting giving heavy pressure to Kotori Suzuki. Shot clock to 4, and this is gonna be a lost possession. She just handed it over to Sun Yat-ting, and they take control.
Yeah, a bit unusual there. You can see how much the Chinese have faith in their goalkeeper, that she was given that angle so close and still chose not to take the shot.
An exclusion against Japan. Kotori Suzuki leaves. And China now with a chance to make this a 3-goal difference as they have started to get things in a groove at the end of this third quarter. Field block there on the outside attempt. Yumi Nakano batting that down. Sides coming even. Power play is over. Cross cage and in. Score it for China. And number 5, New Guanan, her second.
New Guanan is considered one of the really good catch and shooters, if you will, on this team. Couldn't have demonstrated it better there. The first one, she faked a little bit, had it blocked. Second one, caught it and released it, and went right in.
And 4 straight goals for China now to go up 7-4.
Japan's Takahashi's taking a seat, so that means we're going to see all this front court motion again by the Japanese.
Minute 23 to play in the third. Japan trying to work their way back in. Just moments ago, they led 4-3. They get one back here from the outside. A catch and shoot for Mitsuki Hashiguchi, making it a 7-5 game.
Yeah, so much for all that inside water work. Cross cage, catch and shoot.
I think whatever it is for Japan, it has to happen fast.
It does.
If there's even an extra step, it's too slow for them to get it accomplished.
I think that's really an excellent point. That is the nature of their game right here. Is that it's pace, speed, because they just simply don't have the size that the other teams do.
Pressure now in the backcourt from Japan. They try and ignite a counterattack. Almost a tip there. Long entry pass. But you see the ground Japan is able to cover. That was number 9, Kana Hosoya, swimming a good 5 yards out of nowhere to make up that steal. On the other end now, in transition. Again, a drive through. A real softball pass there that was easily stolen away by Yang Jun.
Might have gotten tipped. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, once that ball just floats like that, the referees are never going to make that call.
Good turn inside and a save by Rikako Miura. That was Zhao Zihan wheeling inside. Now just about 10 seconds left here in the third. Looking catch and shoot again, but the pass wasn't on point for Kana Hosoya. They'll have to regroup here. Down to 3 seconds left from outside, and Yang Jun with a save, and that's all for the third quarter. So China, a strong rally. 4 straight to go ahead. Japan has the last word in this quarter to make it a 2-goal game. It's 7-5. China going to the fourth. We are back after this to the Louisville Westside ISD Aquatic Center.
So, you've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
You never know where the next Olympian might be coming from, but it could be water polo, and that starts with Splash Ball. Splash Ball is a program for children ages 5 through 9 designed to introduce them to the sport of water polo while promoting water safety. Improve swimming skills and learn a sport you'll love for a lifetime. For more information, visit splashballusa.org. Fourth quarter underway. China and Japan, good back and forth action here. China now holding the lead 7-5. Japan had led by a goal, only to watch China rip off 4 in a row. Pressure there on the perimeter. Sun Yat-ting with a contra foul, hooking the defender. You see Yang Jun leaping out to try and cut off what could be a bad outlet pass, but instead it's off the post from Chiaki Sakanu. And a golden opportunity there goes by the boards for Japan.
Yeah, they work so hard for those. And these are not easy shots, but their percentage is probably not what they're looking for either.
Another contra foul, or a steal rather. Japan able to come and step in front. Nicely done there on the perimeter. Kotori Suzuki. This is what Japan wants. These turnovers, the chance to get on the counterattack, but they've got to take advantage. And a nice job by China slowing them down.
Yeah, right out of the gate in the fourth quarter, we see them really doubling down on this counterattacking and strong defense strategy.
Long lob from the outside. Yang Jun saw that one a mile away, able to pull it down. And stays 7-5. Brazil and Canada to follow at 6 p.m. Central Time. And keep in mind, Canada will be without their head coach, as there's a beautiful backhand, Sun Yat-ting. That's a hat trick for the China center. Canada's head coach, Pardello, red carded yesterday, so he will not coach today.
Yep, gets a rest.
Perhaps he'll enjoy the webcast with us, James.
Yeah.
It's anyone's guess.
I'm sure he'd rather be doing something else, but it's not a bad invitation.
Now an 8-5 lead, and this puts Japan in a tough spot. I have to give credit to China. They asserted themselves with Sun Yat-ting. She has taken control here in the second half with 3 goals. And China doing all this despite 19 turnovers. Yang Jun, a big save. Japan has tried that a few times. This time it was Kotori Suzuki trying to just basically go near side and throw the ball through the goalie. A difficult angle.
They have a lot of faith in the goalkeeper, as you can see.
Cross pass there. Very difficult pass to try and complete 2 China players in the vicinity, and a steal for Zhao Zihan.
It's one of the most fun parts of watching the Japanese is they take these crazy passes. You think you would never teach this to defenders, and sometimes they actually execute, so they continue to do it. But in that case, no such luck.
Contra foul on Sun Yat-ting again, so China leaving the door open here a bit with 5:22 to go in the fourth.
They're hoping that Sun Yat-ting is not able to keep up with them in this pace.
Good look in front. The extra pass might have been too many passes. Again, they try and stuff it near side, and Yang Jun with another denial.
I think you're right about that.
The look was there for Chiaki Sakanu right in front. Defenders were still trailing. Could admire the unselfishness, but... And Yang Jun now, James, 14 saves.
We mentioned a couple days ago that everything's just a little off for the Japanese. That level of precision is necessary for them to execute on that third pass.
Another contra foul. China continues to turn the ball over, so making things interesting here. A near steal again. Yang Jun will get there first. Hikari Inaba had no idea the ball was right behind her. And a takeaway for China.
That's at least the third pass that was off mark for Japan's goalkeeper on these counterattacks.
There's an ordinary shot coming and in. Score it for Zhao Zihan from the perimeter. The left-hander connects. And now a 4-goal lead with 4:10 to play.
Kaya Takahashi back in for the Japanese, their traditional center. So might take a break from this motion offense that we've seen here.
And how about this response here from China in the second half? Japan really controlled things in that second quarter. They scored the lone goal to tie it at 3. Then they came out and opened the third with the first goal to go ahead 4-3. But since then, it's been all China.
You know, for them, they have the talent, they've got the size, and experience, a good blend of athletes. This is really where they should be, all things being equal. So I'm sure that this is where they expected to be. But yeah, actually getting that done in the third and fourth quarter has been a good progress for them.
Lob attempt, pulled down, and Japan has gone to their reserve keeper now. Miyu Aoki has come on. China in the midst of a 6-1 run going back to the third quarter. The exclusion called on China. Chong Dun-han. Power play here for Japan. Lob attempt, and just off the bar.
Really struggling on the power play.
.239 to play in the fourth. And the ball's turned over. Not for the moment, then it comes right back. China with a backhand, and that is saved by Miyu Aoki. Skip shot and a save, Yang Jun. So China on their way to a win here with 2:08 to go, but it wasn't as easy as looking right now. Ahead 9-5. They really had to battle Japan. This was a game for about 2.5 quarters.
It's a 4-goal split here, but still very entertaining. And as you said, watching the Chinese recover from a start that was suboptimal for them was actually very good to watch.
So 1:38 to play in the fourth. A 9-5 lead. That shot sails high. Coming up next, Brazil and Canada. And a timeout here by China. And so China will clear the bench here. On their way to victory, ahead 9-5. And just a thorough finish. Despite 21 turnovers for China, there's 13 for Japan, and only 1 for 5 on the power play. Japan goes 0 for. China closes right now on a 6-1 run to take what was a 4-3 deficit and charge off to a victory.
I think they just simply buckled down on executing on a pretty simple strategy in front of the cage, but something that other teams have had success with against the Japanese, which is just getting the ball to some of the strongest players, taking advantage of some of the matchups that are really in their favor.
Out of the timeout. Minute 25 to play, and an exclusion. Chong Dun-han was posting up. And Chino Maguriyama is excluded for the second time. So a power play here for China. Ball comes middle. Near side, quick shot, a save there, Miyu Aoki. Long outlet pass. Japan here on the counter.
Have some numbers.
Cross cage over the goal. And we're under a minute to go in the fourth. Ordinary foul called. Backhand off the post. Nearly a goal there from Shang Dun-han.
She's one of the young players on Coach Azevedo's team, and you could see in a couple of years from now that shot's going to go.
Another opportunity this time.
Or that one.
It works, yeah. Doesn't work the first time. Put it back in. Shang Dun-han with her first. And that'll make it 10-5 and a 7-1 run. And Japan will call for a timeout. Not sure why, with 25 seconds left.
I was going to say we've had a blissful absence of these timeouts at the end of these quarters.
It was a tease, James, because these timeouts were always coming. I think all these coaches are in this mode now of just using the timeout.
Got to do it.
We've got it. We're going to use it no matter what happens.
Very European kind of thing to do. We should be going to commercial right now.
Brazil, Canada to follow. USA, Australia at 7:20 p.m. Central Time. We'll have all three for you right here on USA Water Polo TV. And then tourney wraps tomorrow with our medal round matches. Action starts at 10 a.m. Central Time, so get up early and join us here, depending on where you're at. It's a bit of an early start on the West Coast, 8 a.m.
I have to get up early?
Just a touch earlier than usual.
You can sell me on that. 12 seconds.
Just about out of this one. Looking for a perhaps long distance try. Just 4 seconds left. Here's a lob. Yang Jun tips it away, and that'll put this one in the books. So a convincing close here for China as they win this one going away 10-5. They close on a 7-1 run to take down Japan. And a big effort from Yang Jun in the goal. She turns aside 16 shots. For China, 3 goals from the center, Sun Yat-ting. Brazil and Canada to follow at 6 p.m. Central Time. We'll step aside for now. For James Smith, Greg Meskel signing off. Come back and join us in just a few moments. Brazil and Canada right here on USA Water Polo TV live from Louisville, Texas.